Hello, I'm Jahara. I have a blog in the Line of Wire, which many of you may have seen. This is the inaugural episode of the online video edition of In the Line of Wire. And I have a guest, my very first guest, Mr. Faraz Hudbot, founder of PicSense.
So we are a 3.5-year-old startup. We're based in Silicon Valley. We have a large development center here in Karachi. We focus on building software that makes it very easy for subscribers to manage the media that they capture with their cell phones. So the photos, the videos, all the information that you have on your cell phone generally remains trapped on the cell phone. It doesn't really go anywhere. What we tried to do was build software so that it would very simply, without you pressing any buttons, immediately be available on the web, wherever you want, and make it very simple for you to share that media with your friends, family, or publish to any web destination that you'd like.
Okay. Now, why did you decide to have the development office in Pakistan?
I wish I could say that it was a well thought out plan. It wasn't. It was really a function of how much money we had at the time. Okay. And when my co-founder and I started, Adnan Agbotwala, when we started, we had precious little savings to put into it. So we put about $20,000 together out of our own pockets, stopped working and collecting a paycheck, and said that we needed some developers to help us build it out. And the only place where we could afford them was Pakistan.
Okay.
And so we started with 2 people here in, I think it was mid 2005. And we started building out a prototype. As we started building that out, we then started hiring some more people. We quickly got to a point where we were about 10 people, all of whom were in Pakistan, and found ourselves in a situation where, at that point, we realized we'd actually committed to Pakistan.
Okay, great. And how many people do you have now?
Today we are over 100 people worldwide, okay. With offices in Silicon Valley and Santa Clara, in Karachi, near Tariq Road, and in Beijing in China as well.
Okay, terrific. Now, how has the Pakistan experience been for you?
Mixed.
Okay.
Is perhaps the safe way to express. I mean, at one level it's been fantastic because okay. The relative IQ of people that we're able to attract and retain is very high. Okay. The downside to it is there are a lot of cultural, perhaps issues is the safest word to say, that prevent people from reaching their full potential. There is a lack of experience in the Pakistan market. There is a lack of appreciation for detail. Okay. For getting really into the blood and guts of whatever solution you're doing. And there's a national acceptance of the phenomena of jugaad. Okay. And that phenomena, while useful in markets where there is a binary type of solution, anytime you get into more than one level of acceptance, the thing that just works is not good enough.
So how have you overcome that?
I can't say that we've completely overcome it,
okay.
But one of the ways that we have is by building a hybrid team where we have half of the engineering design and architecture done by our team in the United States, and they cannot manage the people here, but they can provide technical guidance in terms of how to come up with the best practices and the best processes and sort of ensure that those processes are starting to be followed. That, I think, that process oversight and that technical oversight has come a long way and helped out a lot in it.
Okay. Do you find that people here that you've hired are quick learners, quick adapters of technology, and have learned how to discipline themselves so that you can get the best out of them?
I think it's an evolutionary process. Okay. I met with a friend of mine, Adnan Lawai, a few days ago, and he quoted someone who had said that Pakistanis are perhaps the world's greatest tacticians, but perhaps the world's poorest strategists. And I think that applies very much in our context of development, especially within engineering. If you think of an engineering project as something where you need to understand the objectives and then build a solution that gets you not just the first level of success, but acts as a basis upon which you can then build further layers. Everyone is very good at getting to the first part of it. And it may not be the perfect solution, but it'll be good enough. And the expectation or the belief that building something good enough is perhaps the worst possible difficulty or hurdle for us to overcome as we build out our dependency on the Pakistan team.
Okay.
So,
Do you think there is any way to counter that at perhaps university level, so that by the time these kids join companies, we find that we have less trouble with that? Is there any way we can start some sort of initiative that will counter that?
What I found is, in our context, what works really well is to remove someone from the universe that they're comfortable with or that they know of. So by having exchanges between our employees in the US and our employees in China and our employees in Karachi, have them all rotate around, go from one place to another, or just leave the country for a while and see how the rest of the universe functions. It changes your entire dynamic of thought processes.
Okay.
Right? You see the world in a different way. It's not always got to be done this way. There isn't the expectation that, oh, if it just works well enough, that'll do it. No, it's actually got to be perfect every single time.
Okay.
That, I think the only way that we've succeeded in doing that is with the employees who we've been able to either have them visit a customer in a foreign country, or have them rotate and come and visit our offices in the US, or even have our guys in the US come here to Pakistan and interact with the team over here.
Okay.
That, I think, is the only way where you can get the expectations set amongst people.
Okay, terrific. Now, there's one thing that people who found companies, they want to stick with them, whether they have the management skills or the entrepreneurial skills. They want to stick with it. They want to be the CEO. There is a trend now where people actually outsource that work and hire a CEO who's good at that job. What do you think? Should people do that, or should the founders actually ride with it and take their project to its logical conclusion?
So the jury's out on that, but in general, it's a very emotional decision at one level for the founders, because you start
for a baby,
and your baby,
yeah.
exactly, right? And at some level, you need to understand what is best for your baby.
Right.
And sometimes you may not be the best person at the helm. In our specific case, I was a CEO for the first year and a half.
Right.
And then I brought in an external CEO to come in and take us sort of to the next level.
Right.
That requires, I think, a level of self-confidence where you're able to recognize what you're good at and what someone else might be better at.
Okay.
Not necessarily that you're not good enough to do it, but that if someone else were doing that role, you would be freed up to do a lot more.
Right.
And that is a very emotional decision that requires you to have control of your own ego. And that is something that is very difficult for a lot of people to be able to come up with.
Okay, terrific. Thank you for that.
It was great talking to you, and we hope to have you back again soon.
Absolutely.
All right.
So that was the inaugural issue of In the Line of Wire, and we were talking to, I was speaking with Faraz Hoodboy, and as he said, discipline, dedication, wanting to make whatever we're doing perfect and not just be satisfied with it at a certain level is something that we should be looking at and gearing towards. I hope to bring you another episode soon. This is Jahara signing off.